Hello, my name is Dan Wood, and this is my presentation on the brand identity I created for Visual Design Fundamentals. Here's the sketches that I drew for the logo I would go with. There were a couple different ideas that I iterated on, but the one that I ultimately picked was uh, in the row of logos that incorporate my initials with the image of glasses, the last one in that row that resembles a lowercase d. That is what I ultimately decided to use. This is the final product of my logo. Um, a lowercase d that is also meant to look like a very abstract part of a pair of glasses, along with my name in Orbitron font, and also a tagline that tells what business I would be using this brand identity for. The color scheme I'm using for this brand identity is black, orange, and white. Admittedly, I didn't put too much thought into these color choices as far as meanings go initially. I just thought I just think black and orange is a cool color scheme and kind of unique, as for the longest time, as far as I knew, orange doesn't have any very strong associations with it. However, after looking into it more, I do see that there are some concepts associated with this color that are good for branding, I believe, such as optimism, creativity, energy. So in retrospect, I think it was still a good decision on my part. And now we get into the stationery I made for the brand identity, starting with the business card. And as you'll see throughout these designs, um, you'll see a lot of these triangles and trapezoid-like shapes created. What I was going for with that idea was to reference the shape of the D icon because it's trapezoid shaped, and just kind of using those angles as kind of like a basis for like what kind of designs to fill the space up with on these items. And here is my letterhead. Nothing too complicated, just basically I just basically created a header and a footer with two different trapezoids in alternating colors. At the top, I made them larger and kind of treated them as spaces to put my logo and contact information in. I do notice that the orange space at the top is a little misaligned. I'm gonna have to fix that if I end up using this later. And these are the two sides of thank you card. For the front, I did more or less the same thing as the header on the letterhead, almost like a simplified version of it. The back, I'm actually, this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I'm just pretty proud of how I came up with the idea to treat the black space as like an intersection between the two orange spaces. And if you're wondering what that little line in the corner there is supposed to be, um, you might have noticed on the back of the business card that I incorporated like blown a blown up off center version of the D icon. Uh, this is supposed to be the same thing, just colored black to show up against the orange. So in addition to the reoccurring trapezoid shapes, um, these like cut off parts of the D logo also being incorporated would be another reoccurring image within this brand. And I guess we're also doing a portfolio section for this presentation. So here's a couple things I've made for earlier assignments, both based on made up news publications. The first one's like a magazine that's focused on the game industry. Like you can probably tell, like just the logo is clearly inspired by GameStop. I actually use the same Orbitron font as this brand identity. I just really like Orbitron and think it's a really good font for any kind of like modernistic aesthetic. And I also did like a website for homepage for a website for I guess either a magazine or just an online news source that's like local news for my hometown of Boiling Springs. I like the header on this one. I kind of wish I had figured out a way to make the text show up against the image of the town more. In the magazine cover version of this, I did give the Boiling Springs monthly logo a shadow, but I felt that sort of effect was something that was best reserved for like logos at the time instead of like all the text. Now this project, the pieces I did for the ADA compliance assignment, this I'm pretty proud of. I made up a coffee company called Gift from Earth, and I made a website and a advertisement for it, and I'm pretty happy about how these came out. I especially think the slogan I came up with for the ad was pretty creative, but other than that, yeah, these are just look very clean and simple. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening.